What is going on, everyone? It's El Chapo, also known as KurrentJoker, also known as your boy. Now, I know it probably sounds like I'm whispering a lot, and well, spoiler alert, it's cause I am. You know, I got people sleeping in the other room. You know, you gotta be quiet, gotta be respectful when you're living with other people. But, this might not be the best video to be whispering on, because I'm actually using a different mic, and that's kind of what this little beginning commentary is about. Just asking you, how does this sound? Does it sound better than the way I was recording my commentary? Leave that down in the comments. Today we're going to be talking about something called Point Nemo, and some of the mysterious things about it, and just kind of a lot of different facts about Point Nemo. With all that being said, let's hop into today's video. Alright, so in our lives, we probably all live near a town, or maybe been in an area that we would refer to as the middle of nowhere. Exactly. However, you would actually be wrong about that. Whatever this place is that you're thinking is the middle of nowhere isn't even close, because scientists have actually pinpointed an exact location on Earth that is considered the middle of nowhere, because at any given time, the closest people to this location are actually astronauts, and the place I'm talking about is in the middle of the ocean and is referred to as Point Nemo. So Point Nemo isn't its like official scientific name, obviously, because scientists can't be that simple and fun. Its actual name is the Oceanic Pole of Inaccessibility. To put this very simply, it is the point in the ocean that is farthest away from land. The spot is literally in the middle of nowhere because it is surrounded by more than 1,000 miles of ocean in every single direction. The closest land masses to this area are one of the Pitcairn Islands to the north, one of the Easter Islands to the northeast, and one island off of the coast of Antarctica to the south. And that's just, that's insane to think about that. You can literally go 1,000 miles in any direction and you would literally never find land. Something that's actually a lot more intriguing, the man that discovered Point Nemo has never actually been there. It was actually discovered back in 1992 by a survey engineer who located the point through a computer system, basically, where it would calculate the coordinates and find the greatest distance from 3 different places, hence the islands I gave you earlier. It is actually very possible no human has actually been through those exact coordinates, or not even just humans, but actually any form of aquatic life or non-human inhabitants, as the coordinates are located within the South Pacific Gyre, which is an enormous rotating current that actually prevents nutrient-rich water from flowing into the area. So without any food sources, it is impossible to sustain any life in this part of the ocean, other than bacteria, small crabs that live near the volcanic vents on the seafloor, basically. Now, if you're curious about where the name Point Nemo actually came from, though, the name Nemo itself is both Latin for no one, as well as a reference to Jules Verne's submarine captain from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. So that's where the Nemo thing comes from, just to be, get that out of the way. Okay, now, let's be honest, that was just a bunch of educational stuff that we just got through. And if you know anything about this channel, you know that, that's not what we're here to talk about. What we're here to talk about is the mysterious parts of it, the, supernatural, the paranormal, anything in this world that's just a little off, normal. That's what we like to talk about here, so obviously I gotta get into some of the mysteries associated with this place. The first one's actually a really famous mystery. It's called the bloop. Now, if you've never heard of the bloop, it is the loudest underwater sound ever recorded. And well, if you've never heard it, here you go. Okay, I understand that doesn't sound very impressive or crazy, but when you take into effect the microphones that picked up the bloop were over 3,000 miles away from each other, and they all picked up this noise, you gotta realize that is so incredibly loud. It has since been determined that the sound originated from an ice quake, but that's just no fun. So we're gonna just choose to believe that there is an elephant the size of, our moon hiding in our ocean somewhere. We're just gonna say that's what it was, because that's just way more fun to believe, right? Okay, so we've all heard of H.P. Lovecraft, right? I mean, he's the godfather of horror. And I'm assuming, since we know who he is, we all know who Cthulhu is. He's a very infamous creature. Well, back in 1928, so about 50 years before Point Nemo was even located, when H.P. Lovecraft was introducing us to Cthulhu, he gave his lair a precise location. And when you measure the distance between the exact location of his lair and the exact location of Point Nemo, they're actually within 4,000 miles of each other. And I know that's a very big distance. When you think about the grand scheme of how big the Earth is and how most of it's covered in water, and he could have picked anywhere in the Earth's oceans, he got pretty darn close. Due to the entire Cthulhu coincidence, there were a great many of people that considered the bloop, the last point we had about this place, was actually created by a sea monster similar to Cthulhu, or some giant sea monster. Now, as I said earlier, this obviously was not the case, actually. It was just an ice quake. But you've got to think to yourself, with the fact that we've only discovered or explored such a small percentage of our ocean, and this area specifically we've probably never been to, there's got to be things in this area of the ocean that have just gone undiscovered up to this point. And one day, I guarantee you, we'll discover those things. And another point is, since it is such an isolated and faraway location, you would hope that it would be the cleanest waters in the world. Sadly, this is not true, as because of its isolation, it has been selected as kind of the re-entry area when astronauts are coming back to Earth. Or not like anymore, but like back in the day, like when we didn't have the reusable shuttles and all that stuff, because the crafts that were being used for re-entry could not withstand the temperatures and everything. They would just fall apart as they're coming back down to Earth. So scientists naturally wanted to find a place with the lowest amount of humans surrounding the area, and so this was obviously the place they decided to pick. And that means that although this place is very isolated, there is a lot of metal and a lot of scrap and even some plastic, that is in Point Nemo. And it is sad to see that a place that is even untouched by man is still, having to deal with our issues, and we're gonna have to deal with the consequences of that someday in the future. I mean, that's a given. But I really don't want to get into too political / environmental things at the moment. There is a time and a place for that, and this place is not the place. But anyways, with that being said, that's Point Nemo, the most isolated place, the literal middle of nowhere. And well, if you found that video interesting, leave a like, comment, be sure to subscribe, and as I said, let me know how the new mic sounds and everything. It's been your boy El Chavo. Peace.